everyone. So I was just listening to Neze Peperempe today. I really like her. She's a YouTuber, and she was talking about an experience of how this guy came into her home and he was like trying to actually molest her help. And and the girl came out. I just started thinking of of experiences. I just thought to share. My name is Chioma Mama. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm just going to share this story, and I think it might help us parents on how to be careful, on how to also train the people in our home to help also protect our children. So when I was like 13, I was a small 13-year-old. I did not have anything. Trust me, I was 13, flat chested. I was like a 8-year-old. I was a little girl, and I went somewhere, within my my estate, and that guy must have been 28 or 29. Like, he was a graduate, working guy, everything, and he saw me and he was like, he was on my case. He wanted to marry me. He was chasing me, and I was a bit taken aback, but I was such a little girl in my eyes. So, as like I said, I was a 13-year-old, like a 9-year-old, like an 8-year-old. I was so little, And this guy was, hey, he wants to marry me. Not marry, he wants me to be his girlfriend. I was like, oh my God, how? I can't even. I was like, man, what? And I was in secondary school. I was in an all-girls school. I was like, this is crazy, and I didn't tell my mom. Interesting, I didn't tell my mom, but the guy started coming to my house, and my parents would be at work, and when he would come. We had this, this nanny. So the first day he came, he called her. I think he tried to give her money or something. I said, please help me call Chioma, and the girl abused him. She was like, look at you, oh stupid, you're a stupid man. Is this small girl you want to? She abused him, harassed him, and chased him out of out of the compound. So that was how I was saved by the bell, saved by the nanny. But the guy didn't stop. So one of our neighbors then was already in university. She was a big girl. She had a car, and he was like, oh boy, I like that your neighbor, that small girl. I like her. I want to marry her. I want to date her. I want her to be my girlfriend. And I was like, let me see what happened. So he now decided to use that my neighbor to get me. So one day, and because my neighbor was like, she was our neighbor, my parents kind of were close. Important enough, I'm still close to her till today. And so if I was going out with her, my mom would be cool, as in, oh, you're going out with the neighbor, it's fine, But we were not mates. So, parents, be careful who your children are hanging out with. We were not, like I said, I'm her friend today, but back then, she was much older than me. She was a university girl. She was a big girl. Me, I was a little girl. I had no business hanging out with her the way I was being allowed to hang out with her. So one day she was like, come, let's go out. She took me out. Lo and behold, she carried me to this man's house. Hey. I was like, what? She took me to the man's house. The man was like, hey, this girl that I'm in love with, oh, welcome. But of course, thank God, he behaved himself. Nothing, he didn't do anything, he didn't try anything. But I was like, how can you take me to this man's house? So, point two. So the first point is that train your nannies to know that, look, they should not, as in, that lady, that our nanny, who is still in my life till today, this is how many years later, was part of our family. And she knew, she had a stake. She knew she should protect me and not allow me, not call me for any man. If she was not treated well or whatever, she might have said, what's my business? Oh yeah, that man has given me money. Go and meet him. Do you understand? And point two, the neighbors, you don't know who your children are hanging around. Be careful, caution them and tell them. Thankfully, my mother had already spoken to me about so many things, so I knew I shouldn't do certain things already. I knew, so I wouldn't have done anything. I wouldn't have allowed anything to happen. But supposing the man had tried to take advantage of me, supposing, thank God he didn't. And then also, so be careful who your children are hanging around and all that. She just felt, bro said I should bring my neighbor's kids, so she brought me, and that was it. So anyway, thank God she took me back home in one piece and all that. And I was like, babe, I'm not going to follow you anywhere again. But the guy did not stop there. Remember, I was like 12 or 13. I was like 13. He came to my school. I was in boarding school. He came to my school to come and see me, to come and carry me. Thank God for the school I went to. They do not allow. Who are you? Are you her father? Are you her brother? Are you her mother? It's not a visiting day. You cannot proceed. They did not allow this man visit me. So that was how that was stopped. So it's a simple story. I'm not saying that you know, anything could have happened. The guy liked me according to him. I'm sure he did like me, but at that age, I had no business having a boyfriend. I had no business having a boyfriend, and he was quite determined. This man chased me for quite a bit. So he was determined to have. He wanted to have me as his girl. You know what? Not a girlfriend, as but he wanted to be. I'm his babe. That was what he wanted. He was like, that. I will stay. He will allow me to finish secondary school. Then he will marry me. I'm like, can wahala be this? But thank God for those things that were in place. Thank God for the things that were in place, and I'll mention them again. One, my mom had already spoken to me, so I knew that, look, I wasn't meant to do certain things with men or with guys or with boys or whoever. I knew. She had spoken to me about sex. Once I was like, I think 10, she spoke to me about sex. She was like, look, it's not for you. It's for until marriage. She explained the whole process to me and told me what it was for. So I wasn't curious. I wasn't want to, I didn't try anything funny because I had been cautioned. I had been spoken to. When I say cautioned, it wasn't the kind of, if a man should touch you, you'll get pregnant. No, she broke it down. And then I also read this book called something about a woman. I can't remember what it was called, but it showed the biology of women and the whole process of sexual intercourse and all this. I understood the biology of it, and she had spoken to me, and she was very open. So it was a very good discussion, which made me aware of what sex was, and I knew that, look, I wasn't supposed to have sex, and all that. So I was very aware, and also because of the kind of home I grew up in, my father was extremely loving, extremely affirming. My mother too was quite affirming. I felt very loved at home. So I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for any guy or any boy. I was fine. It wasn't because we had all the money in the world, but because they affirmed me and made me feel loved. Then the other pointer, the kind of people you have in your home, who you call help. If that lady, that's our help at that time, was a pimp, she would have allowed me. She would have said, oh yeah, go and meet this guy is calling you. What's her business? She's just doing her work there. Do you understand? And people do those things. People do it. That's why people get into trouble. But she was like, no way. After the way she insulted the man that day, he never came to the house again to look for me. Which was what now made him go to plan B, which was get the neighbor to get me to his house. Neighbor. Should you be doing that? And she, for whatever reason, she said she took me to his house. Thank God, because that one, but the lesson there is that you need to be careful with your children hang around, because in my house, she was, at that time, she was my older brother's friend at that time. So that was how she was always around us and all that. And I became close to her, but we're not mates. So I shouldn't have been going out with her anyhow. But that was what was happening, Now I'm closer to age, I can hang out with her and all that. But at that time, I wasn't her mate, so I had no business moving around with her, and older kids too. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know why she thought it was okay. But maybe because she was already dating and all that, she just thought, this guy likes you. I don't know for her. But anyway, thank God, nothing happened. He moved when that plan B did not quite work, because I'm sure, I kind of feel maybe she felt, it wasn't going to be. There's no way I would have followed her anywhere again after what happened. I was like, why would you take me to this man's house? Thank God nothing happened. But after that, I was a bit more careful. But he moved on to plan C, which was go to her school. So be careful the kind of school you put your children in. Who has access to them while in school? There's some schools where anybody can go and visit your children or your ward. So you need to be very careful the kind of school your children go. So that's just my story. I just thought to share. And I hope you guys are having a good Salah weekend. Look out for more videos, parent videos, tips, things that can, help us as we parent our children and we have beautiful parenting outcomes. Take care. Bye-bye.